Would it be a good idea for me and you to move there? You won't find things like this there. There are alternatives to Thailand, and there is an alternative to Thailand. There are many alternatives to Thailand. Hello! But some of the alternatives don't include what you've just seen in as much abundance as you'll find here. One of the reasons I've decided to make this video is how much more difficult it's getting to justify living here. I mean, the crack with the banking, the crack with the changes in visa regulations, everything. See, and the queues at Suvarnabhumi airport. As of the day of making this video, it was reported by a very reliable source on YouTube that there's over a 2-hour delay at immigration in Suvarnabhumi. Now that might be worthwhile. It might be worth your while in queuing up for 2 hours to gain access to this wonderful country. But there's other countries where you don't have to queue up for 2 hours to get into. You don't need a visa. You don't need a work permit. You don't need a set amount in your bank account to retire. I know a place. You might know the same place. But before we divulge the name of this wonderful place, where you don't need a visa, you don't need a work permit, you can avail of free healthcare. What? And although they don't speak English in this wonderful country that I'm talking about, the language they speak shares 44% of its vocabulary with English. Have you guessed what it is yet? To help you in your quest to understand of where we're talking about, I can just say that the general cost of living, the overall cost of living in this alternative to Thailand is substantially more than Thailand. But remember, it depends what you're looking for. If you're looking for peace of mind, if you're looking to retire without the worry of 90-day reports and all the baloney that goes with that, all the bureaucracy that goes with that, you might be willing to pay a little bit extra. Because how can you put a price on peace of mind? Okay, I'll go into a bit of detail on this. Eating out in this alternative is a lot more expensive, You'll pay in Thailand, what, $1, $2 for street food, or in a street side restaurant. In the place we're talking about, it's more like $20. But there's one clear similarity, and there's a few bottles of it down there. Yes, the price of a beer is more or less the same, and the price of a pastry is more or less the same, and of substantially higher quality. The currency is the euro, and it's in the tropics, and it's part of the European Union, and that's why you don't need a visa or a work permit. Well, if you're a European citizen, like I am, you don't need a visa or a work permit. You've got the right to reside and work and move freely, and you've got the right to avail of the public healthcare system. You can use your, what is it called? It's a long time since I lived in Europe. The European health card is valid there as well, because it is Europe. You won't find things like this there by a long shot. But hang on a second. If you're retired in Thailand and you're here and you've been here for any length of time, you're probably fed up with this kind of thing. I am, and I would much rather be in a place where I didn't have to do a 90-day report, and I wouldn't have to worry about my future, because my future wouldn't be dependent on a visa. Okay, so I'm buttoning up my shirt. Its capital city has a population of about 60,000, give or take, as opposed to the capital city of Thailand, which is a population of what? 10, 12 million, depending on who you're talking to. Its capital city has given its name to a very spicy pepper. 95% of its landmass is covered in rainforests. But what I'm about to do now, i.e. eat in a street side restaurant, will cost me substantially more in this alternative to Thailand than it does in Thailand. Approximately $20 more. So this is going to cost somewhere in the region of between 80. Well, this is going to cost somewhere in the region of between 80 to 100 baht. And that's about what, $3? But it's about $20 in the alternative. Okay, we go for this one, the minced beef caprao, whatever it's called, and we get a Coke with it. Inina cup, okay. Let's see, Gausip ban, okay. Lugar Coca-Cola, okay. Thank you. So I've gone for the 90 baht option. And oh yeah, another thing, and I'm just going to point this out now because I've pointed it out a million times before. The seats in Thailand are so bloody low, and these are incredibly low. You won't have that problem in our alternative, because our alternative was settled, oh my God, by Europeans. So I hope you're enjoying the video so far, lads. Just before we get into the actual meat and potatoes, pardon the pun, I just want to draw your attention to the fact that one of the benefits of coming to Thailand is the ladies. But you don't have to search in vain when you click on Thai Date VIP. Thai Date VIP is not just your average Thai dating site. It's run by a French guy who's actually a friend of mine. The site is based in Hoi Hin, and many guys who've watched this channel have met their future wives or girlfriends on Thai Date VIP, and they've told me. All you got to do is click on the link or scan the QR code and register with Thai Date VIP, and you can see it for yourself. There's no Thai Date VIP in our alternative. Well, there is. You can access that website from anywhere in the world. So even if you do choose our alternative to reside in, you can still access Thai Date VIP, and you never know your luck. So I'm sweating like a pig, and that's another thing you'll do in our alternative, because it's the same climate, same climatical region. When I say region, it's the same latitude, more or less. Look, I've kept you out of your misery long enough. When I say, before I divulge the name of this place, when I say the cost of living is higher, the cost of entertainment, well, the cost of a beer is going to be the same, so that could be your entertainment. But you're not going to go to this place in search of Nana or Sukhumvit or Pattaya or places like this, because they don't exist. And the place we're talking about is French Guiana, just north of Brazil in South America. It is a department of France. Therefore, it is France, and it is part of the European Union, and they use the euro. And I'm a citizen of the European Union, therefore I can live and work freely in French Guiana. And why don't I? Well, because I'm here. Well, why don't I? If it's so good, why don't I just up stakes and go? Because I've got commitments here. If I tell you the truth, if I had spent, like I have done now, the past 14 years in Thailand, and I had become aware of the benefit of the, well, let's say I'd become aware of French Guiana and the fact that I can live there without a visa and all the rest of it, that would almost be enough to hook me and get out of here. Because I'm tired. I am actually mentally and almost physically exhausted at the thought of applying for another 1-year visa. the documentation that you need to supplement your 1 year visa, your banking, your TM30, your 90-day reports, and everything else. I'm not criticizing it for a moment. That's the price you pay. That's what you want to do. If this is what you want to do, live in Thailand, that's one of the things, or a few of the things that you've got to do. Thank you. Come on. And come eat Pepsi. Yeah. So this is beef caprao. Is that what they call it? With a fried egg with rice. It's exactly what I wanted. And there it is there. Lovely, super smashing. You will get this. Thank you so much. You will get something like this. Come eat gao nan kang, okay? Gao nan kang. Chai kak. Thank you. Thank you so much. I can vouch for the customer service in French Guiana. I've never been there. It used to be a penal colony. It's populated with, well, the French, in their wisdom, brought slaves from Africa over to French Guiana, and a large percentage of the population today are descendants, thank you, of those African people. There's also a huge Chinese community. So just to get the lowdown on why are there so many Chinese and Asians in general living in French Guiana, they were brought in the 19th century for labour. And more recently, it's been migration. I have noticed on YouTube, and I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on French Guiana, more than one vlogger had said it's a melting pot. There's people from all over the world living there. And it's much easier. It's a no-brainer if you're European, or you have a European passport, EU passport. But you see, this is the thing, and I'd say most of the British people watching this, well, I shouldn't say British, I should say UK citizens watching this might feel a bit aggrieved because of Brexit. But hang on a second, Brexit never existed. Britain was never a member of the European Union, so how could it leave? You think I'm crazy? The United Kingdom is the state. Britain is an island. So it shouldn't have been called Brexit, it should have been called UK exit. Because Britain is not a sovereign state. The United Kingdom is. That's something you probably thought you'd never hear. That's something you probably thought you'd never want to hear. And it's probably something you don't want to hear. But it's a fact. British people voted to leave Europe. UK citizens, the UK, voted to leave the European Union. And because of that fact, they can't avail of the automatic right to live and work in French Guiana. But of course, there's more than one way to skin a cat. I mean, you'll always find a way. I mean, you found a way to live in Thailand. I found a way to live in Thailand. I don't know what this is. I really don't know what I'm doing. That's another thing about living in Thailand. The language. And you know me and the Thai language aren't the best of buddies. But me and the French language, you could say, aren't the best of buddies either. But après vous, merci beaucoup, enchanté. I can speak. I've a bit of the lingo. And I did go on holiday to France about 20 something years ago, and in the 2 weeks I spent there, I was able to speak a large amount of the language from what I picked up, because we share 44% of the vocabulary, English and French. I was in a restaurant and I heard a guy say, he clapped his hands. There's a restaurant in Paris, he was eating steak tartare, first time I've ever seen that. I ever saw that, I should say. And he clapped his hands and he said, Garçon, le descente s'il vous plaît. And I said to myself, Garçon, that's the same in Irish Gaelic. It means a subordinate or a young man. And l'addition, the addition, s'il vous plaît, we all know that. Garçon, l'addition s'il vous plaît. Can I have the bill, please? You see, that's how easy it is to learn French. You'll be picking up French a lot quicker than you'd ever pick up Thai, that's for sure. Can you find a bride in French Guiana? I'm sure you can. This is nice. If you're like me and you came to Thailand for the weather, that's the reason. That was the hands down 100% reason. I'll be honest, I didn't do all my research in terms of cost, but I knew it was a cheap country to live in. But the weather was the main draw. So if the weather is your draw, and it is for a lot of us, and you have, let's say, you're solvent and you can live the high life here, you could live a very good lifestyle in French Guiana and you wouldn't have to worry about the bullshit bureaucracy. There's a lot of pros and cons to anything. But I've watched more than one YouTuber in the last 6 months who's gotten out of Thailand because they're fed up. They're fed up with being a non-entity. You're on a non-immigrant visa and you're constantly being reminded of that. And I've resigned myself to living in a country where I'm never going to be a citizen. And I'm never going to be able to enjoy that peace of mind that I'm always on a visa. But if I lived in a place like French Guiana, or I could say St. Martin. Now, I haven't done my research on St. Martin. I know well, if you want to know what St. Martin is, you probably know what it is. It's an island in the Caribbean. It's got two jurisdictions. There's a Dutch half and the French half. The Dutch half is autonomous, and EU citizens haven't got the automatic right. Oh, holy shit. Haven't got the automatic right to work and move freely in the Dutch half. But in the French half, because it's again a Department Le Français, it's part of France, you have got that right. I don't know enough about it, to be honest with you. But you see, what I would do if I was in the position to move, I'd say if I am in the position to move financially, but morally I'm not, because I'm married to a Thai and I have a family. But as I said, if I was single, I'd be looking at my options now to get out of here and spend my twilight years in a place where I don't have to worry. I wouldn't care if I never saw Pattaya again. I wouldn't care if I was never down on something with Soy Nana or Soy 4 again. And I haven't been for a long time. So therefore I know it's not something that keeps me here. If you're wondering about the expense, not everything is more expensive, but a lot of things are. I lived in Dubai for a year, and arguably that's a very expensive city to live in. I lived in Dubai Marina, which is an exceptionally expensive place to live in. But I used to eat in Dera, and if you know anything about Dubai, Dera is the old fishing port, the old town. And I could eat with the Indians, lots of Indians, the migrant workers lived in that area, and you could eat for $2 or $3 a night. So if I can do it in Dubai, I can do it in French Guiana. If you're talking about safety, it's got the highest murder rate. If you're talking about safety, it's got the highest. If you're talking about safety, it's got the highest homicidal rate in France, because it is France. And we all know that Thailand is probably one of the safest countries in the world to live in. But have you ever wondered this? What's the percentage of gun ownership in Thailand? You can Google this if you want, but here it is here. Thailand has an estimated civilian gun ownership rate of 15.1 firearms per 100 people, out of roughly 10.3 million firearms circulating in the country. About 6 million are legally registered, while the remaining 4 million are undocumented or illicit. Now, I come from a country where firearms are illegal and only issued under strict regulation for hunting or farmers protecting their flocks. what's the percentage of gun ownership in French Guiana? And if you're looking for a comparison, in French Guiana, it's 19.6 firearms per 100 people. But because French Guiana is an overseas department of France, it strictly adheres to French firearm classification and licensing regulations, which mandate registration and background checks for gun owners. So there you go. I added a little bit too much spice on it, but it's really nice. It hit the spot. By the way, this is more or less what you get in French Guiana. It's not as populated as Thailand by any means, so it's a lot quieter. We get the check bin. Let me see what the damage is. Oh, that was spicy. Well, I made it spicy myself. So let's see how much this costs. And we get out of here and we continue our comparison. Scan okay? A Roy Ma, thank you. Okay, pump put press it. Roy. Okay, Roy Sip Sam. Okay. Pump put, yeah, pump me look on Thai, look me here on Thai. Chai and look on Thai. Yeah. Pump Martini Sip Pilau. So Roy Sip Sam, then Sip, huh? Ireland. No, Ireland. Ireland. Europe. Yeah. So, chew I run a hand. Okay.
กะเพราขุนช้างสุทธิสาร
Okay. Chew icon. What's your name?
กะเพราขุนช้างสุทธิสาร
Okay. And chew I. What's your name?
เรียมอ้อยค่ะ
Oi, say hello to you too.
Hello
Okay. Come here. So, what's your name?
เวย
And you like working here? Can shop Tanam Tani.
ใช่
And Bod Kimong, what time do you open?
12 ชั่วโมง
12 Chumong. 20
อ๋อร้านเปิด24 ชั่วโมง
24 Chumong.
Yeah.
24 hours a day.
yes
Wow, every day. Jedwan.
every day
Very good. Say bye bye YouTube. Bye bye.
bye bye
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you.
can I get your channel
You can, of course. 1 second. Let me put this back here. Just give me a sec. Could me tissue no crap, right? Tissue. Tissue. No, tissue. Tissue. Okay, it's okay. Thank you. Badnam. There you go. I'll give you now. Badnam. Okay. Alpha, omega, occasionally.
Okay
You'll see it here. Alpha, omega, occasionally. Yeah. That's it. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. Ahan Aroyman. Thank you. Okay. We got a couple of subscribers there. Let's get out of here. You see, that was a wonderful experience. It was. And you get these wonderful experiences in Thailand. You definitely do. And you know that. We all know that. But you can get wonderful experiences anywhere. And you see, I've got a bad taste in my mouth. Not because of what I've just eaten, because that was delicious. But I've heard about visa revocations, visas being revoked. Because that can happen. And it doesn't matter how long you've been here. It doesn't matter how many kids you have. Your visa can be revoked. Your visa can't be revoked in French Guiana because you're a citizen. Well, I am. Or as good as a citizen. So it is an alternative. It might be expensive, but does the expense compensate, or does the peace of mind compensate for the expense? Being able to walk down the street knowing that you belong there. Oh, by the way, we're talking about a retirement. I think the stipulation is, don't quote me on this, it's something between €1,450 and €1,500 monthly income to guarantee your retirement. After 5 years, that financial requirement doesn't apply anymore. That you're in, and that's it. You see, I've spoken in the past about alternatives to Thailand, other alternatives, such as New Caledonia. But you see, when I did that video about New Caledonia, I didn't dive into the actual nitty gritty of the expense of living there and the fact that New Caledonia is much more expensive than French Guiana. New Caledonia is it's an island. At least French Guiana is on the continent of South America, and not everything is expensive. The supermarkets are expensive if you buy French products, obviously, because they're imported. But you don't have to go into supermarkets. You can find stuff elsewhere. There's ways around everything. But in terms of that alternative, New Caledonia, it's not a place that I would go to now that I know what it's like and I know how damn expensive it is, and that they're looking for more autonomy from France. And we don't enjoy the same amount of freedom. A European Union citizen doesn't enjoy the same amount of freedom in New Caledonia as they would in French Guiana. And I don't think they use the euro in New Caledonia either. If you're wondering, France has these departments scattered here, there and everywhere. Because France is La République Française, like Ireland is the Republic of Ireland. Any part of French colonial past that they still hold on to is part of the Republic of France. Unlike places like the United Kingdom, that their former colonial outposts that they still guarantee or they still finance, they are not part of the United Kingdom. And as far as I know, and I'm almost sure, UK citizens don't have the automatic right to live, for example, on Pitcairn Island or on Tristan da Cunha. That's a place that I wouldn't like to live anyway because of the climate. Tristan da Cunha is a little bit too far south in the South Atlantic, and there's absolutely nothing there at all. I think there's a population of 250 people, and again, foreigners aren't there. You know, it's just not a thing. But that's the UK. So the UK doesn't have the same setup as the French. So the French have St. Martin, they've got New Caledonia, they've got French Guiana. So the French have New Caledonia, St. Martin, French Guiana, and God knows how many other places scattered around. And if you're an EU citizen, you could be well advised to check these places out as Thailand becomes more and more galvanized. And that's what it feels like. It feels like it's closing in. That I do feel privileged to be here. And I love being here. But as I said, I am absolutely tired. Tired and fed up with the bureaucracy. I am so tired and fed up with it. You know, this is a footnote. Thailand is monocultural, and it wants to stay that way, because everybody you've seen today here, working on the street, serving food, driving taxi, driving buses, doing whatever it is, are Thai. There are occupations reserved for Thais. There's no occupations reserved for Irish people in Ireland. There's no occupations reserved for British people in the United Kingdom or United Kingdom people in the United Kingdom. So there's no occupations reserved for European Union citizens in the European Union. Therefore, there's no occupations reserved for people from French Guiana in French Guiana. It's not reserved for anybody. It's now a multicultural place, albeit that it has a relatively small population. It has a small population. The population of French Guiana is equivalent to that of the population of French Guiana is equivalent to that of Iceland. And I wouldn't live there. Because number one, it's so damn cold, and number two, it's damn expensive. So there's nothing to compensate for the expense. And it doesn't have a McDonald's. The last McDonald's and the only McDonald's in Iceland closed, was it 2001? You can correct me, you can Google this if you want to. They have the last quarter pounder and cheese, I think it is, meal in a glass case on display in some museum or something. And why did Iceland get rid of its last McDonald's? And why did McDonald's pull out? Because it has to import the beef because there's no beef in Iceland, and it was too damn expensive, even for an expensive country. So French Guiana imports a lot, but because of its proximity to Suriname, it's only across the river, and proximity to Brazil, it can get, and it has its own produce, I'm sure. Not everything will be cripplingly, can't even say that, crippling, not everything will be so damn expensive. So you can say, the way I sum it up, if I had the opportunity today, if I was single, on a retirement visa, if I had the opportunity today, I would take a flight to French Guiana with my Irish passport and experience the delight of just walking through immigration and just showing them the cover, or just showing them the inside without getting a stamp, and having that freedom, and testing the water to see what it's like. Stay there for a couple of weeks and see what it's like, because the proof of the pudding is in the eating. And before I go, lads, before I go any further, I just want to point out that you guys help me out so much. You make all this worthwhile. And this is a list of the guys who have helped me out and buy me a coffee. Thank you so much, lads. I really appreciate it. If you want to do the same, you can scan the QR or click the link below. And it's really, I really appreciate it. Do you know, I'd love to be in a position to bring you a video from French Guiana. Just go there and put me money where my mouth is and give you the actual comparison. But unfortunately, I'm not in that position. I just did a bit of research before this video. You can do your own research on it, but maybe it's food for thought. Maybe it's something you haven't thought about. If you're like me, you have a curious mind. I don't just accept my lot. I am tired of Thailand to a large extent, but not completely. Because everything gets banal and normal after a while, no matter where you are. I'd love a change. A change is as good as a rest. But, hello. Good morning. How are you? I come from Ireland.
From Ireland?
Ireland, yeah. I'm making a YouTube video. Nice to meet you. What? You see, I can't go anywhere. Thailand's so friendly. All these older women saying hello to me, and it happens all the time, lads. It happens all the bloody time. Anyway, when all is said and done, Thailand wins hands down on economy. It wins hands down on, I'd say, not hands down, but it could win on personal safety. Although French Guiana is a safe place, because of the immigration that all of Europe is suffering from, and French Guiana is not immune to it. There are certain districts of Cayenne, which is the capital, where at night you would be advised not to go. But apart from that, I mean, that's in every bloody city in the world, apart from Heracles. What do you think? Do you think I'm talking through my posterior? Or do you think I'm making sense? That it's not just about the cost of living. It's the peace of mind. That's my take on this. But I am sacrificing my peace of mind for the cost of living. That's the truth. That's the truth. And the weather. And a few other things. And I tell you, lads, there's more than a few other things that this channel can bring you. And there's more than a few reasons why you should click that subscribe button if you haven't. And the like button and the share button and all those wonderful things. Because I'm going to bring you back another wonderful video very soon. Thanks for joining me.